So one of my favorite apostolic teachings from the early church is a doctrine known as limited atonement or definite atonement. I made a video about it recently on YouTube titled 21 Verses That Prove Limited Atonement. I made another one about why I love limited atonement. And I just wanted to show you guys the most convincing argument that Jesus Christ died to save sinners. It comes from Hebrews chapter 7, 8, 9, and 10. I can't read through all that right now, but verse 25, therefore Jesus is also to save forever those who draw near to God through him, since he always lives to make intercession for them. You have to understand that in the Old Covenant, the priests were prevented by death from continuing, but Jesus is immortal, obviously, so he can hold his priesthood permanently. Therefore, since Jesus is immortal and he represents us before the Father with his righteousness and not ours, that is why he is able to save us to the uttermost. And so if we continue to chapter 9, it talks about the blood of Jesus and what it accomplishes. And it says in verse 15, for this reason he is the mediator of a new covenant, so that since a death has taken place for the redemption of the trespasses that were committed under the first covenant, those who have been called may receive the promise of the eternal inheritance. The fact is, everyone who is called will receive that eternal inheritance. Just like God called Israel out of all of the nations on earth in the Old Testament, and that Old Covenant sacrificial system was for the Israelites. In the same way, in the New Testament, Jesus' blood was meant for all of God's chosen people, and he died for them and he saves them perfectly. The fact is, those sacrifices in that Old Covenant were not made for the Egyptians and the Assyrians and the Babylonians. No, they were meant for God's people. And therefore, Jesus' blood is meant for believers. God's people, not unbelievers. The gospel is to save those who believe, not those who don't.